Welcome back. Time now for the Roundtable. The one book the Beltway should be reading. For me, I just finished listening to a book that I'd read long ago, The Once and Future King by T.H. White. In an era of more Mordreds and Lancelots, it's a tremendous book to listen to, as read by Neville Jackson. I genuinely think some chivalry is in order inside the Beltway, and this book is the source code for chivalry. Courtney, Kube, what are you recommending this week?
So I'm reading something that's very not inside the Beltway as well. It's called 80 Days by Matthew Goodman, and it's all about two pioneering female journalists in 1889 who tried to recreate going around the world in 80 days, and it became this competition, and they couldn't be more different. It's Nellie Bly and Elizabeth Byland, and one was sort of more of a Joseph Pulitzer kind of, tabloid sort of reporter, and the other one wrote for Cosmopolitan and was more genteel and was more into poetry and how they approached this. And it's this amazing, fascinating look into what the world was like in 1889 and to women in a very male-dominated...
I've been hearing about Nellie Bly since I started in TV in 1992 with Pat Morrison and LA's KCET, so I'm gonna
She's very spunky in this book, yeah, and it's just a fascinating look at a time that I don't know much about.
Oh, that's great. Elana?
Well, I chose Inferior by Angela Saini, and I actually held the Knight Science Journalism Fellowship with Angela, so she's a personal friend. But what I like about this book is she takes a political lens on science. She says there are certain fundamental studies that have informed the way we see the difference between men and women, but they actually had major flaws. And as a former science reporter myself who thinks both parties tend to politicize science, I find that fascinating.
Do the fellows spend a lot of time talking to each other during their year as a fellow?
Yes, absolutely. It's a great program.
What a great program. Eugene?
I'm actually reading The Happiness Curve, Why Life Gets Better After 50 by Jonathan Ross from the Brookings Institute. And it's looking at how we should be rethinking midlife. And we spend these 20s and these 30s and 40s building up careers and families, and you get to this point of accomplishment, and then things often go downhill for a lot of people because you feel like you've peaked in your professional and personal lives. But it's talking about what jobs, what the government, what society can do to actually improve life after 50.
You know, Arthur Brooks at the AEI writes a lot about people become unhappy when they think they've gone past their last off-ramp. And so I have to look into that. The science of happiness is deep and interesting. Sahil, how about you?
I'm going to go with Survive Like a Spy by Jason Hansen. It's a book that I randomly saw at an airport, written by a former CIA operative. A fascinating look at the life of a spy, maintaining multiple different identities, often in countries that are far away, having to manipulate people, the mindset you need to take, the things you need to remember if you get and we have to be watching your back to make sure you're not being played or you're not being watched. It's a really interesting book at the lives so many of these American officials in this country and around the world lead.
Sahil, are you yourself a thriller addict? I mean, what would lead you to pick up a book like that?
I was getting on a plane to L.A., Hugh, and I wanted something fun to read that would take me away from politics.
Survive Like a Spy. How do we really know that you're Sahil? I'm not sure. Now we have to find out. Thank you, Sahil, Courtney, Elana, Eugene. We don't. Thank you as well out there for watching today. Hey, keep the conversation going on MSNBC.com/Hugh Hewitt, and I'll see you next week on Saturday morning right here on MSNBC.